Well, Chair, the reason that I asked, and I'm keenly interested to get the name of this other Randy. The testimony from the witness is not credible. But he said that he'll offer, Mr. Anderson has said that he'll offer the information in camera. He had a June deadline to provide the text, instant messaging, and phone call logs from the dates outlined by the committee, and said he would only do so if the he missed the deadline, and then said he would only do so if a committee agreed to protection of personal information, which the chair provided that assurance. And he knew he was coming today, and he didn't provide it. That's operating in bad faith. So we have answers that are just not credible, and I challenge anyone around the table to say that they do believe that his responses with respect to who the other Randy is or what was in those text messages was an autocorrect. That's absurd.
Yeah. It's just a bad lie.
His answers aren't credible. He has not been a good faith actor in terms of providing information that was requested by this committee or meeting his obligations when he did say that he would provide them. And so we're left to really have to weigh what the value is of closing a public meeting, because I know that we have a motion that we would like to move with respect to the testimony that we've heard today. That opportunity will be lost should we move in camera. Now, if the decision of the committee is to simply move in camera, to hear the response from Mr. Anderson, which frankly, Chair, he could write the name on a piece of paper, hand it to the clerk. The clerk could confirm that she's received the name and that it'll be shared with members confidentially. Well, that would negate the need for us to move in camera. But I'm not comfortable with us shutting down a public hearing where you have a witness who has refused to answer questions, which is a contempt of this committee.
Hear, hear.
He's refused to answer. That is not a privilege that he has to refuse to answer, and so we can't support moving in camera. But I would just say, quite simply, the witness could write the individual's name, the supposed individual,
the other Randy, and
provide it to the clerk. And the clerk could walk over there, pick it up. It requires no translation, and it could be treated confidentially and circulated to members with an understanding that it is confidential. There's no other information that's been proposed by Mr. Nakvi to solicit from the witness in camera, and then that would allow us to move a motion that's germane to the proceedings today, because this is absolutely unacceptable, the way the witness has conducted himself, and Canadians deserve answers, and that's why the committee chose to meet today to get answers.
Hear, hear.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Mr. Barrett. I do have a speaker's list on the motion by Mr. Nakvi to move in camera so that Mr. Anderson can provide the name. And next on the list, I have Mr. Brock.
Yes,
Mr. Brock.
I don't want to
Go ahead.
belabor the point. Thank you, Chair. I don't want to belabor the point. I concur wholly with the commentary from my colleague, Mr. Barrett. But the danger that I see, and this is my opinion only, the danger I see with disclosing the identity of this mysterious Randy in camera is that it denies the ability of Canadians who have been dealing with this ethical issue, this potential breach, this potential act of criminality from Minister Randy Boissonnault for the better part of 2 months. Yes. And given that this particular witness had every opportunity to give us that information, not only today, but a month and a half prior, pursuant to a ruling of this particular committee, concerns me. And it concerns, in my view, it concerns Canadians who are watching this and want to know finally who the Randy is that was referenced in these very damning text messages. Their interest is even more piqued, I would suggest, because we have Mr. Anderson now as a self-admitted liar. It really goes full circle to my request that I did incorrectly, and I apologize to the committee, should have brought the motion simply as a motion and not of a point of order, because there is merit, absolute merit, and it is not a signal at all as to the veracity or ethical position taken by witnesses, but it is a standard practice that has been adopted in numerous committees where you have very, very important issues of ethical issues to be debated and discussed. This is a commonplace issue that is happening across numerous committees. I dare say there is probably some reference in our Green Book to the ability to ask for this. And I find it ironic that my Liberal colleague, Mr. Nakvi, a former Attorney General of Ontario, would take the position that we should just presume that witnesses who testify at committee are presumed to tell the truth without that ambit of scrutiny, the honest oath given on a Bible or some other religious instrument, or an affirmation to tell the truth. It binds the conscience of individuals to give us the straight facts without holding anything back.
They still won't.
Without embellishing. And in this particular case, he admits that he lies.
Yeah.
In the former environment that Mr. Nakvi and I participated in, it happens every day in thousands of hearings in Ontario. It does not presume a lack of credibility with any witness. It's just a requirement that binds the conscience. And I think Canadians, given all of these circumstances, and now hearing that this witness is adamant that there is so much secrecy surrounding this particular surname of another Randy, if it is even Randy, because we don't even know if the first name of this individual is Randy. Is it spelt? I heard the evidence that it's perhaps a female. So was it an autocorrect? Randy spelt with a Y versus Randy spelt with an I? Who knows? Or maybe a completely different surname altogether. These are questions that not only are parliamentarians grappling with, but the nation is grappling with, and the nation deserves to know the identity of this other person today.
Here, here.
Full stop.